Exodus 21. Exodus 21:21. Yes, I'm on for people. In Exodus 21, now God has brought his people, the Israelites, out of the land of Egypt. He has brought them out of bondage. And he starts to lay down the laws or rules for his people. Exodus 21, God lays down rules concerning crime and punishment. He lays down rules concerning how the Jews or the Israelites relate or treat each other, even foreigners. Exodus 21 talks about slavery in the Bible. I'm on for. What do you think? Slavery is morally wrong, as we all know. But Bible God condones slavery. I'm on for. Bible God approves slavery. A morally upright God condoning or approving something which is morally wrong, it doesn't make sense. Because in the book Exodus 21, from the beginning, he's saying that you can buy slave or servant. He says servant, but servant is slave to us or to me, according to the context in here. Because he's saying that it's your property. Yes? Okay, he's saying that with the Hebrew slave, you can buy them, but they serve you for 6 years. In the 7th year, you allow them to go. If they were married before you bought them, when they are going, they must go with their wife and their kids. If this slave wasn't married and then joined the master, and then afterwards the master marries for him, when the slave is leaving, he have to live alone, leave his wife and the kids behind. A man for a morally upright God giving this kind of rules or laws. So who's gonna go and serve a master, gets married, have kids, and then when it's time for him to go home, or when his slavery days are over, will say, oh, I don't want my wife and my kids, take them, I'm leaving. Me, I can't do that. You see? But according to the rules, Bible God is saying that if the slave or the servant says, oh, I love my master too much, I love my kids and my wife, the master should take him, have his ear pierced, and then he becomes his slave forever. How does this make sense? This doesn't make sense. A morally upright God who is supposed to have brought his people, the Israelites, out of bondage from Egypt. He brought the Israelites out of slavery from Egypt. He's laying down rules for slavery. When you say, people will say, oh, slavery in Bible is different from slavery in the real world. Apologists comes and say, oh, it's not the type of slavery we're thinking about. It is indentured slavery. He doesn't say that there. He's saying that clear there, that if your servant, you strike, okay, even, I didn't tell you this, but Exodus 20, he said, if a man strikes or smites his servant and he dies, the master is to be punished. But then you go on to 21. He said, if he strikes him, and then the servant continues to live after a day or two, the master should not be punished. How does this make sense? So it means you are allowed to beat up your slaves as long as they don't die. A manful, a morally upright God should say, look, no more slavery. No slavery anywhere ever again. Cancel slavery. Yeah? Because if you are a God and you think like I think, why will you create a world with a need for slaves? Yes, if you have the power to create and design a world that is perfect, no slavery. Nobody will serve anybody, but we will all be happy and enjoy this life. But no. This our God says no. There must be slaves. And you can beat them as long as they don't die within a day or two. No. We don't accept this. Slavery is morally wrong back in the day. Today and tomorrow will be wrong. Another man does not deserve to keep another man as property. Genesis 21 is saying that. Buy the people and keep them as your property. Work them. In the 7th year, you can let them go. If they are married, let them go with their wife and their kids. If they weren't married, but it's you that got them married, their kids, their wife and their kids is your property. The man can leave them in the 7th year and go. But then if he says, no, you have to go and pierce his ears and make him your slave forever because he wants to stay with his wife and his kids. People, how is this right? This is the holy book. A book as some of you base your lives on. So Exodus 21 verse 7 is saying, if a man sells his daughter to be a maid servant, she shall not go out as the manservants do. So if you're a slave and a woman, dear, finish for you, finish for you. You'll not even go out. Unless your master uses you till he's tired of you and he wants to dispose of you. Bible does not respect women. He's saying this. And we'll continue to say this and expose these fallacies and immoralities in the Bible for you people to wake up. A manful. Exodus 21. Please read. Pick up your Bible and read. That is the only way you are going to see what's in this book. The errors in this book. The senselessness in this book. How can a wise God, an all-knowing God, condone or approve of slavery? I don't understand. And when his son, Jesus Christ, comes down the lane, he said, slaves, obey your masters. When he came, we were expecting him to come and say, okay, my dad didn't do it properly. Slavery is bad. He says, slaves, obey your masters. I'm unful. Anyway, it's your boy, the Rhythm Rider, also known as the Righteous Messenger. I see you again. Peace.